Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Marigolds by Eugenia Collier. Now, before I go into the summary and analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right, Marigolds. Very, very interesting work here. A lot of things are happening. We meet this young girl. She's 14. Her name is Elizabeth. We also meet her brother Joey. They're living in rural Maryland. This is the Depression. This is the Depression era. We're looking at what happened to this to rural Maryland when the Depression was happening. And basically, what we get here is, well, she's 14. She's growing up. She's understanding what the world is. She's understanding um, what it means to be black, especially during this time period. And she understands that she's poor. All of her siblings have left the house to find work in other places. The two babies that were left, they were sent to other family members to better take care of them. Her mother is the only one that's working, and she's making the bread. And the father is having a hard time because as a man, there's that pride to be the provider, to take care of the family, and the father can't do that because he can't find work. This is the Great Depression after all. And the mother, she goes to work every day working for a white family. You can definitely see that things are not good. And Elizabeth and Joey, when they're done doing their chores at home, they spend all day goofing around. And one thing that they do that's pretty dark is Miss Lottie is this elderly woman. She never leaves her home. She doesn't do that much, but she has these marigolds that she plants in her yard, and the kids find this hilarious. They find this just just weird, and because everything's broken down. This Miss Lottie, she lives in an old home that's rickety and old, and the yard's not, none of it looks good. The yard doesn't look good. The house doesn't look good. Her son, who, John, he's just there, and if you bother him, he gets angry, and he goes after you. And Miss Lottie and her son are just these things that Elizabeth and Joey, they just mess with, and their friends mess with. So they keep messing with these people just because they can, and I guess it's just fun to make them miserable and look at their reactions. I mean, there's some people, especially kids, man. Kids can be brutal. Kids can be very brutal with bullying, especially to adults when they feel like they have power. That's why I think in the era between 2012 to 2019 in America, you had this like protest against bullying, anti-bullying, because bullying was so bad at the time. I mean, a lot of kids were committing suicide. It was a very strange time when bullying had come to the point where kids who were being bullied in schools were, you know, attacking. And we see in this short story here, although again, this has nothing to do the school bullying things. It has nothing to do with this short story. I'm just bringing it up how bullying can be devastating. Um, you just see a bunch of kids just being little, monsters, going after Miss Lottie and her son and just bullying them, and they're, throwing rocks at her marigolds just because she's this old little lady, and she's like, well, she everything's bad, but she tries to have some dreams, some hope in the midst of darkness and sadness. And yeah, so basically what happens is they do that, bother Miss Lottie, go after John and do a bunch of bad things to them. And they laugh about it. And Elizabeth, she's the narrator, and we get to know her a little bit of her mindset, because she's like, she feels bad sometimes, and she's contemplating life. And I always say that you have to take it easy on kids from the age of 10 to 16. The reason why I say it's because like your brain, I think goes through so many changes from 10 to 16. Because from 10 to 16, um, your body is changing, your mind is changing, you're going through puberty, you're understanding the world around you, you're understanding your emotions, you're understanding feelings, uh, you're experiencing so many new experiences and feelings and things, and you're understanding your place in life. You understand what it means to be poor, what it means to be rich. um, that's why a lot of kids can be brats when they're in that age range. 10 to 16 is a very uh, tough age because you don't know what you're doing. You're just goofing around, you're poking at dead birds. And these kids, from Elizabeth to her brother Joey, Joey's 11, and they're all just goofing around, making fun of people. Um, and we kind of see Elizabeth developing here, she's trying to starting to understand what it means to be human, what it means to be black, especially during this time period, during the era of the Great Depression, what it means to have no opportunity. Um, and it's a lot for her to take in. Now, what breaks Elizabeth within this work is that she hears her parents in the middle of the night talking about finances and how her father can't find work and how this breaks something within him. He starts to like bawl into the night and woe is me, talking to his wife, and the wife is like, hey, I have a job and I'm keeping food on the table, and this breaks this man. It breaks Elizabeth's father, um, because he's not a provider, and the wife is the one that's bringing in the money, and he's not bringing money, and this breaks Elizabeth because Elizabeth believes that her father is the rock of the family. He's the thing that the family is set up on, and to see your father, break down, and it's your mother that's comforting him and telling him that everything's going to be all right. It really breaks you because as a little girl, you know, fathers in the home, if you grew up with a father figure, for most people, that father figure is the rock. He's the head of the house. He's the breadwinner. He's the protector. He's the provider. A lot of kids, like, if something goes wrong, they're like, hey, I'm gonna tell my dad, and my dad's gonna teach you a lesson. And that night, when he overhears his dad, when she overhears, when Elizabeth overhears her dad going, woe is me, and why is life so hard and things like that, it really breaks something within her to experience that, because you're like, you realize that your father doesn't have things under control. You realize that things are not as peachy as it seems. And in terms of deeper meaning analysis, I do have to say something about this, because I think for kids, that's the biggest thing that you have to go through in life, realizing that your parents don't have answers to everything. Even I think when I was growing up, you always thought that, like, from the age of 0 to 10, your parents, for a lot of kids, your parents are superheroes. They can get you your favorite food, they pay the bills, they know how to fix things, they're strong, and because, like, from 0 to like 7 to kids, your parents are like superhuman. And like from 8 to 10, you're like, whatever goes wrong, I could just tell my mom, or I could just tell my dad, because they always fix it. But like from 10 to 16, you're starting to realize, yo, this world, my parents don't control this world. My parents, they have flaws. My parents can mess up. And to be 14 years old and to hear your dad crying, and your mom having to tell him, everything's gonna be all right, it's something that really breaks Elizabeth. And she wakes up Joey, and they go back to Miss Lottie's yard, and they destroy the marigolds, and they just end it. And Miss Lottie doesn't, you know, go after her because everything is destroyed now. So the short story ends with like this air of despair and sadness, and kind of like Elizabeth reflecting on how she had dreams and how she had planted things, and hope, and everything goes out the window. It's kind of like Marigolds is a very sad story in my perspective, because you see these kids, they're in the Great Depression, and it's really hard to have hope in the Great Depression. Everybody's suffering. The kids were suffering, the adults were suffering, especially in the black community. Imagine, again, this is the Great Depression, no civil rights, no. I mean, this is just a, a piece here that doesn't give you any hope because you destroyed this little lady, this little old lady. I mean, Elizabeth just destroyed her, and it's almost like she destroyed herself. There's like pure hatred. It's like I can't be happy. My dad's not happy. My family's all over the place. Everybody's left home to find a better life, and you can't have marigolds because look at you. You have an old home. You have an old yard. I just, it's like she just wants to blot out the sun. It's like we're all depressed. So stop having hope to this little old lady. And, you know, it's like Elizabeth realizes that it's all real. Like the childhood innocence is gone. It's definitely a growing of age story here because the childhood innocence is gone. The it's kind of like the starting of being a cynical, um, kind of nihilistic type of human. Because in order to live day by day, man, you need hope, you need inspiration. Um, you know, you need something to push you along, something to tug you, something to give you hope to breathe and to make it to the next day. But again and again, this work here, you destroyed the marigolds. Your parents are not doing well. Poverty is everywhere. The Great Depression is knocking. Ooh, this is a cold one, man. This short story is definitely a cold one. And the ending, I mean, it doesn't really. It's just this 14-year-old reflecting on hardship and um, having dreams, and you know, it's not like you're left with a sense of things will change because Miss Lottie doesn't even replant marigolds again. It's like this is it. This is the Great Depression. This is reality. You're gonna have to deal with it. And I think this is one of the coldest short stories I've ever read because it's like raw reality. It's like, hey, here I am. Things are tough. Rural Maryland, black, no civil rights. I'm adding in the civil rights part because again, this is the Great Depression. Um, yeah, it's just ooh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But yeah, Elizabeth destroys the marigolds. She realizes what she did to the old lady, but it's all very reflective. It's all coming of age. It's this little girl becoming a woman, understanding the world that she lives in. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough, and sometimes your dreams die. And I think when the marigolds get destroyed, that's one of the things they symbolize. It's like there's so much bad things going on. Not even a little old lady can have some joy. Not even she can have some hope because, well, things are rough, things are tough, and we all got to go through the depression, and there's no hope coming through. There's no sunshine coming through. It's all. We just gotta all take it. Yeah. All right, that's all I had to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.